My team and I have built over 60 B2B sales teams, and across all of those teams, they've generated more than 100 million in sales. And you want to know our secret? It's our sales playbook. And in this video, I'm going to walk you through the template so you can use it in your own business to dramatically improve your sales and build a repeatable sales process. Let's dive right in. Your sales playbook is incredibly important for getting reps to actually follow a process that is going to lead to them hitting their quota, which is both good for them because they're going to make more money, but then also good for you because they're going to make more sales. So what I'm going to do is share with you a simple, easy to follow sales playbook template so you can put some structure around your sales process and dramatically improve their performance and also make onboarding new reps an absolute breeze. So let's start off at the very, very beginning, which is the overview of the playbook. So right here, what you see is two parts of our sales playbook. The first is the About Us, and then the second is the Roadmap to Success. In the About Us, we talk about who we are, what we do, who we help, and why we win. When it comes to the Roadmap for Success, you're going to be covering your sales process, your buy again strategy, your tools that you have to support the team, and the performance culture at the organization. This sets the tone of what they're going to experience while they're going through the sales playbook. And it also makes it a lot easier for them to revisit because they don't need to see the About Us section all the time, your sales reps, but they may want to revisit some of the other things in the Roadmap for Success. So we start off with the Who We Are portion of the sales playbook. And this is fairly simple. You want to outline here your company values. So what I recommend doing is listing all of your values with a description of each one. So then that way, every rep that you bring on has a clear understanding of what the company values are. Next, we have the Who We Are section. This is simply an org chart explaining who everybody is in the organization and who they report to. And I get it. Sometimes it can be a lot of work maintaining these org charts, but set a schedule to revisit them and update them because it really is helpful to have a good understanding of who does what in the organization and who reports to who. It allows internal communication to happen a lot more smoothly. Now, the next part of the Who We Are section is actually a note from the CEO. If you're the CEO, I recommend you writing a letter that welcomes the reps. This is just a nice touch and really sets a good tone for when a new rep starts at your company. Now, let's move on to the What We Do section. First, we start off with the company mission. Here's an easy template that you can follow, but if you already have one, use yours. The template I usually suggest is we're on a mission to help target market achieve goal without risk or negative thing. We do that by process or solution and a commitment to whatever the value that you're committing to is. It's really simple. If you don't have a mission, go ahead and do that. You can get a lot deeper, but for now, let's just get something down on the paper. Now we move on to the What We Do section for your products. This is where you list out the different product offerings that you have and descriptions of what they are. You just want a place for your reps to see all of your offerings so they can get up to speed quickly and then start speaking the language. Now, part of What We Do, we have pricing. Give a full pricing breakdown. This is often overlooked. Pricing should be really simple and easy for the reps to speak to, so get to it really early on so they understand how your business model actually works. Now let's move on to the Who We Help section. This is where I recommend you spend a lot of time. You need your sales reps to be able to speak the language of the people that they are going to be talking to. So in this section, we're going to start off with the ideal customer profile, or what we call the market map. This outlines your target verticals and target buyer personas. And if you haven't done this yet, we have the resource on our website. You can go ahead and check it out. Now we move on to case studies, testimonials, and examples. This is where you want to put any case studies that you have, testimonials of customers saying really positive things, or examples of use cases that people use your solution for. This is the area to put all of that. And really your new sales reps should spend a lot of time reviewing this, but also your more experienced, your more tenured sales reps should be revisiting this to pull testimonials that they like to use. Also, you should update this with new ones as you get them. The next section here is why we win. It is incredibly important that every sales rep in the organization understands your unique differentiators and why you actually win. To do that, we recommend an exercise called value mapping. This allows you to get very clear on your differentiators indicators, as well as the value your customers are experiencing. You can see this on our website as well. So if you have any questions on it, comment below. Happy to send it over to you. Now let's move on to the second primary section of the sales playbook, which is your roadmap to success. And this section starts off with the sales process. It's really important that every rep knows the process you follow to successfully take customers from not knowing about your solution to making a buying decision. And I recommend keeping this very simple. I know we can go into a ton of details and get crazy with different customer journeys, how they're laid out. Simply outline step by step from inbound to outbound what happens with the prospect that takes them from never hearing of you before to actually making a buying decision. If you have fancy ways of illustrating this, feel free to use those, but I do highly recommend keeping it as simple as possible. This is meant to help sales reps understand at a high level what the sales process is, and then you can support that with more complicated stuff a little bit later, but at least have a simple version so then that way people can learn it quicker. The next part here are lead statuses. If you're doing outreach to leads in your CRM, you want to make sure that the reps understand how they navigate those lead lists. This is an area for you to add that information. Next, we have sales stages. So what are the different stages of your sales process? Some people call these deal stages as well. What is the process once they have booked an appointment that actually takes them from meeting with you to making a purchasing decision? Make sure you have all of the stages there with what is required, what criteria is required to get from one stage to the next. The next piece here is outbound messaging sequence. This is where you're going to put all of your messaging that you use when you reach out to your prospects. This is really, really helpful because your reps will have one place where they can see all of the messaging and they start to understand what works, what doesn't work, and also how to articulate the value that you're providing in a way that resonates with your buyers. Put it all here. Don't just rely on templates saved in some tool somewhere. They might never find it. So put it all in one place so they can review it, and then that way everyone understands the best practice for communicating with your buyers. Next, we have our buy again strategy. What is that? Let's talk about it. This is where you cover all things related to renewals, upsells, cross-sells. Whether it's part of their job or not, it's important that the sales reps understand what happens post-sale. They want to set up the customer success team, the account management team up for success. So make sure they understand what that role looks like and what that process looks like, especially if they're involved in the upsell or the renewal at the end of the year. It's very important that they understand what that process looks like. Next, we have the tools to support you. This is really where you outline your tech stack. What tools are you actively using? Why do you use them? When should the reps use them? You want to go into detail about what the workflow looks like with the tech stack involved, because you want to make sure that every sales rep is utilizing all the tools available to them to actually have success. So make sure it's in your sales playbook and it's very clear what the tools are, how they're used, what they're used for, all of that. The next section here should be links to all of your onboarding guides and resources. So there's one place that you maintain that has links out to everything they're going to need to be able to do their job. So if there's an onboarding checklist, it should go here. If you have different resources that you send out to prospects, they should go here. Marketing resources, sales resources, scripts, everything should be linked out in the sales playbook so they have one source of truth that is well maintained and they know where the most up-to-date version of everything lives. Next, we have our performance culture. This is really where you outline what is it like working at the organization. It's important that you have a section where you clearly outline what metrics you're tracking, what those metrics mean, what they should look like if you're on the right track and you're successful, what expectations that you have for them as a salesperson at your organization that you're also going to be holding them accountable to. It's very important that you demystify the performance side of the sales role so that every single rep knows exactly what they have to do to be successful. The next thing here is an activity tracker and also your dashboards. Go ahead and put those here, link out to any activity trackers that you use, any dashboarding that you use, so then that way your reps know where they have to go in order to fill out their activity tracking or to make sure that they're on the right track. Next is quota. You should have the quota clearly listed in the sales playbook. It is a very important part of their role, and you want to make sure there is no confusion. This is the quota that we hold you to, and also this is what it takes to hit that quota. The final thing to include here is your performance management overview. This is going to walk them through all of the foundational pillars that drive your performance management. So things like what your 30, 60, 90-day plan is, if that's relevant to you, what a quarterly check-in looks like, what's the feedback form for that, quarterly close lost review, so we really understand what deals we're losing and why we're losing them. If you'd like to, you can include your performance improvement plan guidelines here, biannual review, when do those happen, how are they run, and also culture setting guide and rep superpower, so you can really get them understanding how you run the sales organization in a very high performance way. And that's it. That's the whole template. If you can work towards getting all of this built out really, really well, and then onboarding and using it with your sales team, you're going to see that sales reps improve so much faster. They ramp up quicker, but then also they have less questions as they're ramped up because they know there's one source of truth that actually stays updated. I can't stress that enough. How many materials get out of date and then no one knows which version is the right version. Even with all the tools we have today, we run into this problem. The sales playbook needs to be a source of truth. There's one document. It is updated, it is maintained, and it is a critical piece to driving success within your sales organization.